Hello everybody, welcome back. This is going to be a tutorial at looking at the Maya interface and how we can use that effectively to create something that we like. Okay, let's get started. So first of all, if we're going to talk in modelling purposes, make sure our modelling area up here is selected. Let's look at what we can see. So pretty evidently, if you've used 3D packages before, this is the viewport, so anything that you'll be working with will be in this main section here. We've got the timeline down at the bottom, which we'll run into further in another tutorial in more detail, and maybe the settings used, it depends kind of what work you're doing, but we'll look at different ones, so we'll do that later. The outliner is basically the list of objects that are in your scene. So if I can just click and create loads of cubes, what am I doing? Cube, 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 and then for example, and then that's very important. So to take that off, we just click this button here and open it up again. Or to do full views, you come up to this one here, and that comes up with your perspective, top, front, and side. Now, when you've got either one of these activated, a nice shortcut to activate and deactivate these is the space key. So if I click space, it will come out of it. Okay, if I click space, hover over the front, and click space, it's getting a bit glitchy there, then it will go on the front section. However, if I click my outliner and then click space, outliner, space, okay, no, it doesn't want to do it. That was in 2016. Maybe the Maya doesn't like it now. Okay, no problems. If you use the Maya 2016, the spacebar will activate either ones on the side. However, it doesn't want to do that today, so that's very embarrassing. Anyway, let's move on. So, the Maya toolkit here. This is very handy, especially for modelling techniques. So, I can just quickly grab a cube. I could size it up. I can grab let's have a look. A multi-cut tool. I can cut that in there. I can select one of the faces here. I can extrude that out. I can then begin to bevel some edges, so you can clearly see you can get some shapes made quite quickly with this toolkit instead of going up to edit mesh and using bevel, extract. They're just sort of down here just for ease. However, if there is anything here that you like, well, if you've used a previous application before, think, yeah, I want to use, merge vertices or something, you will have to go up to these items up here. But further looking into the interface, we can, let me just delete this, go to object mode. We see we've got our custom shelf up here, and what we can do is we can put these tools that we use regularly up here so we can easily access them. And in order to do that, you hover over to any tool. So for example, average normals. If I click Control and Shift and click, then let me just delete that one. Then it'll pop at the top here, and you can do that with any tool you want. It's just easier. It depends. It's your own preference, and obviously use that for your own work, how you work. So you'll obviously understand sort of a workflow that's best for you. So looking back at the modeling toolkit, we can see the different options here, which is the object tool, vertex tool, line tool, and face tool. You've got the UV tool here, but we'll run into that later on because we're not going to run into UVs yet, as it's sort of more of an intermediate tutorial. So let's have a look at some. What should we look at next? We'll look at the orientation. So if you're creating stuff inside of Maya and you want to grab a cube and rotate it, if I click W again, if you look at the axis, it's in world axis, which means X, Y, and Z. And we don't want that. We want sort of our orientation to follow our cube, and the best way to do that is just ensure that your orientation is set to object. So then that way we can start moving up and down. And this is different for each tool. If you click W, it's the move tool. If you click E, it's the rotate tool. And if you click R, it's the scale tool. So if you notice, the scale tool is in world, the rotate is an object, and the move is an object. That's because they're all different. So the best thing to do is when you highlight, just double check you're on the right one. So for that, I'll just have to change to object again, and then I can start scaling it along that axis. So that's what this little section is used for. And then, as you probably would have guessed from the start, These tools up here just import basic shapes, or if not, go to create, and you can go to some polygon primitives where you've got a few extras such as the helix. So they're quite fun to use. I think that's pretty much it now. So we've got some render settings up here, which we'll run into on another tutorial. And the way that I am orientating around my scene now, sorry, I should have said this at the start, but it uses the Alt key. So if you hold Alt and then left click, that's the rotate tool. If you hold Alt and then middle mouse button, it's the pan tool. And then Alt and right click is the zoom button. So sorry about that, I should have mentioned that at the start, but that is how you orientate around Maya. And another thing, if you get lost in your viewport, so for example, I know, oh no, where's my cube, and you're zooming out trying to find it, if you hit F on the keyboard, that frames it, so it can easily center you back to the start. So if you do get lost, that's a very important hotkey to know. And for example, if you want to focus on something, I want to focus on that vertex, click F, it focuses on that. So if nothing's selected, it focuses on the world. And if you have something selected, it focuses on that specific object. So that's the Maya interface tutorial done, guys. The next tutorial, episode 3, we'll be looking at modeling tools and how we can create various shapes. So thank you, and see you in the next tutorial.